It's a pleasure, it's an honor to be here today before all of you. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, good. I'm very loud. I've talked to the audio guys, so hopefully they're working with my sound because I get really turned up. I'm a little calm right now, but as you'll find really quickly, I get very turned up. Love what I do, very passionate about what I do as well. But let me begin by first of all saying it's a pleasure and honor to be here today. Anytime I get the opportunity to speak to America's next top leaders, I'm always privileged, thankful, appreciative, and grateful for that opportunity. So really quickly, just want to thank you guys for taking the time to hear what I have to say today. So give yourselves a round of applause for being awesome. Wonderful. The second thing I do want to do, I think is really important. I remember when I was 19 years of age, and I had the opportunity to go to a leadership conference in Nashville, Tennessee. And at that particular moment, I had been in LA, California my entire life. And so I go to Nashville, Tennessee, and never been there before. And anyone that's been in LA or Nashville, Tennessee, you know there's a huge difference. But I went to a leadership retreat that literally changed my life. It was one of the monumental points that got me to where I am today. And I often say if it wasn't for the people that put on this program, I may not be where I am today. And so anytime people put together a program to empower you to be America's next top leaders, I think it's always right to show our appreciation. So can we give the leadership team a big round of applause for putting on this wonderful event? Awesome. The second thing I'm going to do before we get started, and let me just, second thing I'm going to do before we get started is I always like to begin with what I call a positive affirmation. Someone say positive. Affirmation. Essentially what you're going to do, you're going to stand on your feet and we're going to say positive words out loud. I know it's going to get loud in here. There's 4 reasons why I do it. The first reason why I do it is because I'm a believer in the power of words. Someone say words. I believe words have power. And I believe if you say I am great, you will become great. Awesome. Second reason why I do it, I think it's fun. Third reason, it sets a positive environment. But the most important reason why I do it is because I want you to know when you walk out of here today that you're destined for success, that you're destined to make an impact in the world, and most importantly, you are valuable, you are important, and you are special to someone else. If you agree, say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. Stand on up. We're getting ready to get started, and we're going to turn it up. We're going to turn it up. Oh yeah, we're about to turn it up. Are you ready? Are you ready? They stretching. I see y'all stretching out back there. Let me get loose. Good. This is good. Should do a stretch. All right, here. Someone say today. Today. That was weak. Let's go again. Say today. Today. I am destined for success. I am an incredible leader of the 21st century. I look good. I smell good. I'm dressed wonderful. And I believe, without a doubt, that I will make an impact in my community, my nation, and my world. I believe no hater, no naysayer, no failure, no fear, no challenge, no obstacle will stop me from reaching my fullest potential. I believe, without a doubt, that someone, somewhere, I don't even know, has already determined to do something incredible in my life. I believe, without a doubt, that someone, somewhere, I don't even know, has already determined to give me the financial opportunity of a lifetime. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I'm phenomenal. I'm outstanding. And I know, without a doubt, that I am going to make an impact on my campus, in my community, in my nation, and in my world. I am one of the world's next top leader. Give yourself a round of applause. And on your way down, give someone a high five and tell them you're destined for success. Really quickly, does anybody study with music? Anybody study with music? Okay, you're part of my family. I like music a lot. I listen to it all day long. And so anytime I'm giving a presentation, I have music going on the whole way because it just inspires me. It makes me feel good. And I kind of feel like I want you to feel like you're in the movies, kind of. So tell someone, get some popcorn. Oh, y'all like, I ain't listening to this guy. Okay, it's okay. We're going to get into this story. I want to begin with you with the story. It was literally for me, it was approximately 2 years ago, and I had the opportunity to hear a phenomenal speaker in Southern California. And I had heard about this particular speaker a variety of times. I'd heard about his electrifying messages. I heard about how motivational he was. I'd heard about how good he was, how intellectual he was. And I had been inspired and I'd been told, you got to hear this guy speak. And so I go to hear this guy speak, and it's like most motivational speakers, it was incredible. There was a lot of great information. There was a lot of great content. There was a lot of powerful moments. But like most speeches, there's always that one part of the speech that really stands out. And for me, it was this particular part of the speech that really stood out to me. And it was when he said, and I quote, he said that every time a child is born, a solution is brought into the world. In essence, he said every time a child is born, a child brings happiness, a child brings joy, a child brings excitement. But he said this child brings dreams, and this child brings vision, and this child brings gifts, and most importantly, this child brings a solution to a problem in the world. So in essence, as you sit here today, if he was to go through the room person by person, individual by individual, organization by organization, he would look you in your eyes and he would tell you that no matter what you've been through, no matter what challenge you have faced, no matter what obstacles you're facing today, you are valuable. Someone say, I'm valuable. He would say you're valuable because he said when you were born, there was something you were to give to someone else in the world. There was something you were to express that was going to make the world a better place. He would say you're a solution to someone's problem even this very moment. But there's another guy. His name is Miles Monroe. And he says, and I quote, the wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery. Now I got a problem. How can the cemetery be the wealthiest place in the world? I mean, people are dead. They can't breathe. They can't walk. They can't talk, and you mean to tell me it's the wealthiest place in the world? Speaker would suggest, yes, it is. And the reason he would suggest it's the richest and the wealthiest place in the world is because there's a lot of people that live life without ever discovering the treasure, the gold, or the wealth on the inside. I suggest to you there's a lot of people in this world today that have multi-million-dollar businesses, but they don't start the multi-million-dollar businesses because they allow fear to stop them. There's people today that have an extraordinary gift, a gift that will make people laugh, a gift that will make people happy, but there's someone in their life that is telling them don't pursue that life in Hollywood. Don't pursue that dream of being a comedian. And what they don't understand is they're missing out on the gold that they were born with from the time of their conception. And then there's other people that have a passion. And you know who you are because you're probably in the room right now. You have this passion to go into one industry, but your parents told you to go into another industry. And you're in between because you're trying to figure out, well, this is what I'm passionate about, but this is what my parents said to do. But what you have to understand is your parents raised you, which is phenomenal. But at the end of the day, you got to choose your path for yourself. And what happens a lot of times is when we don't choose our own path and we let someone else define the path for us, we find ourselves having a job and having a career and be extremely unhappy, frustrated and irritated. And it's really not their fault. It's your fault because you didn't follow the path. Someone say follow the path. But what you don't understand, when you don't follow this path, when you don't go after your dream, when you don't go after your passion, what happens is not only does it affect you from reaching your fullest potential, but it affects others as well. So I've come to find out that when we don't become the best us we can be, not only does it affect us, but most importantly, it affects others. When you don't become the best leader you can be, it's going to affect others. When you don't become the best businesswoman or man you can be, it's going to affect others. When you don't become the best individual you can become, it's going to affect others. Someone say affects others. Say others. It's going to affect others. And really when we deal with leadership, leadership's not even about you anyways. Leadership has never been about the individual. Leadership has never been about the title. Leadership has never been about the fame. Leadership has never been about the popularity. Leadership is about others. Someone say others. Others. See, if you're going to be a great leader, you have to have the perspective and you have to have the mindset where you understand that leadership, effective leadership, is not about how great I am. It's about how great I help other people. It's one of the reasons why Jack Welch says, and I quote, he says, when you become a leader, it's all about growing others. When you become a leader, it ain't about growing yourself. It's about growing others. One reason I say this all the time. I say you're not in the leadership position for status. You're in the leadership position to make an impact. Someone say impact. Impact. The reason you're a leader, the reason you're chosen to be a leader is because you're chosen to make an impact. Now, the problem with our society today is we have too many people that are looking for the popularity, are looking for the status, are looking for the fame, and that's why they're trying to be a leader. And when you have that mindset and we have that attitude, what you end up doing is not only making yourself look like a fool, but what you end up doing is your ineffective leadership qualities affect everybody else. Because, ladies and gentlemen, leadership affects everything. There was a study at Harvard University. They discovered that 80% of people, someone say people, 80% of people discovered that effective leadership affects the state of a community or a nation. And that's just the state of a community, the state of a nation can all be dependent on leadership. Someone say leadership. Leadership. So if you don't have effective leaders, if you don't have people that know how to lead, then you're going to have a horrible community, you're going to have a jacked up nation, and I don't even want to talk about how bad the world is going to be, because everything is dependent on leadership. Someone say leadership. Leadership. And so I'm excited to be here today because all of you in here are leaders here at William Patterson University. You're a leader. Someone say I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Say it with some strength. I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Say I'm a leader. I'm a leader. You're a leader. And the state of this campus is partially dependent upon you. The experience that students are going to have on this campus is dependent upon you. Which means if I'm going to create an incredible campus community, if I'm going to create an incredible fraternity or sorority, if I'm going to create an incredible organization, then I got to be an effective leader. Someone say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got to be an effective leader because everything starts with leadership. Someone say leadership. And if I'm going to be an effective leader, then one of the things I got to understand is not only do I got to discover the leader from within, but most importantly, I got to be effective at leading, serving, and empowering. Someone say leading, serving, and empowering. I got to be effective at not only leading others, but serving others and empowering others for success. And again, I want you to understand, leadership is not something you're born with. Leadership is something that you develop. Vince Lombardi said it very greatly. He said really, really clearly. He said, leaders are not born, leaders are made. Because he wanted you to understand that you can have the natural ability to lead, but in order to become great, you got to be made. Someone say made. And made deals with development. Made deals with leadership training. Being made deals with places like this. That's why you should thank Donna and all the rest of the people here for putting on this event, because they're getting ready to help you become the best you as a leader you can be. Someone say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Someone say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And so my goal, my small goal, because again, they're most important. They're going to be with you all year long. They're going to be developing you all year long. They're going to be speaking into you all year long. They're going to be assessing you all year long. They're going to make you the best leaders that you can be. But what I'm going to do is I want to lay a foundation. Someone say foundation. I want to lay a foundation for 2015, and I'm going to give you 5. Someone say 5. I'm going to give you, if I get through, I'm going to give you 5 questions to consider if you're going to be an effective leader of the 21st century. If you're going to, oh, thank you so much. I probably need some water. That felt good. If you're going to effectively lead, empower, and serve others, these are 5 questions we got to ask ourselves. Someone say 5. Someone say 5. Give someone a high five and say 5 questions. Now, if you miss the other person, give that other person you missed and say 5 questions. Now give yourselves a round of applause. Let's take off. Question number 1. First question we're going to ask ourselves is this: do you have a heart of what? Service. The first question we got to ask ourselves is, do you have a heart of service? Because again, remember, leadership is about service. Someone say service. One of the attributes of effective leadership is this heart of service. What is a heart of service? A heart of service, in my mind, is number 1, someone that wants to make others better. Someone that makes others around them better, and someone that wants to make their organization or wants to make their team that much more better. So when we deal with a heart of service, someone say a heart of service. When we do the heart of service, what we are saying is that number 1, you have a desire to make others better, you have a desire to make others around you better, and you have a desire to make your organization, to make your community, to make your campus a better place. In essence, when you have a heart of service, you have a desire to make others' lives better. Give someone a high five, say, make others' lives better. This is heart of service. Now, the reason why heart of service is so important, the reason why it's so valuable, it's going to get good in here real quick. The reason why it's so valuable is because when you have a heart of service, number 1, you have a foundational concept of great leadership. Number 2, when you have a heart of service, you're going to be more effective at influencing and getting support from other people. Number 3, the reason why you have the heart of service is because when you have a heart of service, you're going to make a greater impact. Someone say impact. But the 4th reason you have a heart of service, watch this, is because service positions you for greatness. See, you got to understand. Who wants to be great? Raise your hand. Who wants to be great as a leader? Raise your hand. Who wants to have a great organization? Raise your hand. Who wants to be great in life? Raise your hand. All right, put your hands down. See, service positions you for greatness. When you think about people that have impacted the world and people that we celebrate, one of the things you'll discover is they had a heart of service. In January, we're going to celebrate the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He had a heart of service for his people. In February, we're going to celebrate Abraham Lincoln. He had a heart of service for the people he represented. In March, we're going to celebrate Cesar Chavez. He had a heart of service for the people he served. In April, normally, we celebrate the birth of Jesus, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He had a heart of service. In May, we're going to celebrate your mama. Someone say, my mama. And your mama, most mothers have a heart to serve you. In June, we're going to celebrate fathers. And most of your fathers have a desire to serve you. And so what you find is these leaders and these figures and these people that we celebrate and that we honor is because they're leaders that have a heart of service. Have a heart of service. So if I'm going to come with something great, if I'm going to do something great in the world, I got to have a heart of service. It's one of the reasons Dr. King said, and I quote, he said, anyone can obtain greatness because greatness is obtained in service. King says, greatness is obtained in service. Wait a minute, King. Out of everything you said, out of everything you talk about, you want a generation to understand that greatness can be obtained in service? Yes. Because what a generation has to understand is you don't have to be on MSNBC to be great. You don't have to sell out Madison Square Garden to be great. You don't have to be the most popular person on social media to be great. As a matter of fact, when you encourage someone, you're doing something great. When you help someone stop themselves from committing suicide, you're doing something great. When you save someone's life, you're doing something great. When you help someone accomplish their dream, you're doing something great. When you go out of the way to help that elderly woman or to help that child in need, guess what? You did something great. Something great. And we got to make sure we have the right perception when we deal with greatness. Because a lot of times we assimilate greatness to material and greatness to how much money we have. But I can tell you today, there are some people that are really rich and have a whole lot of money, and they're the worst person in the world from the heart perspective. Someone say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And I guarantee you there's some billionaires, won't say the name, that some of you ain't going to vote for at all because obviously they don't have a heart to serve a certain group of people. Hello. Hello. We know what I'm talking about. I won't even mention the name, but you know who I'm talking about. But Dr. King wanted you to understand that in order to be great, you got to have a heart of service. Someone say service. A heart to help others. A heart to make others better. A heart to make your organization and your community a better place. And I'm going to give you a story that's going to take it home. And this is a young man by the name of Johnny. Someone say Johnny. Johnny was 19 years old, so some of you can relate to Johnny. He was 19 years old and he worked at a grocery store. And he had a great job. He was making money. He was comfortable. His family was happy. It was all good for Johnny. Someone say Johnny. But something was peculiar about Johnny. Johnny was not happy. Johnny was frustrated. Johnny was irritated. The reason he was frustrated and the reason he was irritated was because he wasn't making an impact. This is one sign of a person that has a heart of service. They're not satisfied with status. They're not just satisfied with money. They want to make an impact. Say impact. Impact. Johnny wanted to make an impact, but he's a grocery clerk. How do you make an impact as a grocery clerk? Causes you to think, causes you to be innovative, causes you to think outside the box. Sometimes we have to think outside the box. Gandhi said, and I quote, he said, through service of others, you discover your purpose. So some of you are just looking for your purpose, and all you have to do is start figuring out, how can I serve others better? Because as you begin to figure out how you can serve others better, you may just stumble across your purpose and your calling in life. And this happened for Johnny. Johnny has a desire to make an impact. And he talks to his dad. He says, hey, Dad, I want to make an impact. I'm not satisfied. He says, well, son, you have a good paying job and you're doing good. You're a good citizen. I know, Dad, but I'm not making an impact. I got to make an impact. He said, okay, Johnny, got to figure something out. He said, okay. And he went into his closet, and creativity and innovation began to flow out of his mind. And he came up with a brilliant idea. He said, every day I'm going to take some time and I'm going to write down on a piece of paper a special note. You're awesome and you're incredible and you're outstanding and you can make it. And so every day in the grocery store, when you would go through Johnny's line, he would have this message and he would put the message in the grocery bag. So that when you get home, no matter what you were feeling that day, no matter how bad your day was, no matter how great your obstacle was, there was someone that was there to encourage you. There was someone to let you know that I care. There was someone to let you know that I'm concerned. This is a model of servant leadership. Someone say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. But let me tell you what happened to Johnny. When Johnny started doing this, people started coming back to the store. When Johnny started doing this, his grocery line was the VIP line. When Johnny started doing this, the grocery store made more money. When Johnny started doing this, he actually became the leader of the grocery store. Wait a minute, he's not the general manager, he's not the owner, how is he the leader? Well, because I suggest to you that leadership is not just based on position, leadership is based on the ability to influence a certain group of people to a certain destination. And by the way, he's influencing them through his service to a specific destination, and he's making an impact. Someone say leadership 101. So in essence, it doesn't matter about your title. You can still be a leader. And Johnny was a leader because he was influencing people, because he was making his vision a reality to make people's lives better. His store was profitable. He was being promoted. People loved Johnny. Why? Because he had a heart of. So here's the lesson. Lesson number one is very simple. Here goes the leadership challenge. The leadership challenge for number one is very simple, that you must make sure that you are authentically leading with a heart of service. Someone say authentically. Leading with the heart of service. Got to make sure let's get that in deep down. Say authentically leading with a heart of service. Give someone a high five and say lead with the heart of service. We're getting ready to go into number two. And as we go into number two, we're going to take the music off for a moment because I want to begin number two with the special video. So here goes the next point, and then I'll explain why I show the video. Here we go.
Okay, here's my secret. In the 90s, they had this tour called the Kings of Comedy. And if for all of you who know, the Kings of Comedy was Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, and Bernie Mac. But they decided that they needed to have the Queens of Comedy, which was Monique, Samora, Adele Givens, and Laura Hayes. I have been offered a position in the Queens of Comedy, and I turned it down. Because I wanted to know the details of the deal. And you know, as comics, Aisha,
yes,
you know, you want to know the details of the deal. Are you being put in a position where you're not getting paid enough? So I was
a lot of times they're funny with their money.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, go on, and that's right. So I was like, go on, do your thing. Fabulous. So the Queens of Comedy end up making a tape, concert tape, concert film. So they became very, very successful. And for those of us in the comedy game, especially in urban comedy, you were being questioned. Why weren't you a part of? Did you get
all
those
the time,
two?
yeah.
Why weren't you a part of the Queens of Comedy? So I got an opportunity. The producer, Walter Latham, called me and said, there might be an opportunity for you to work with these ladies because, Monique had gone on to get the Parkers. She goes on to win Academy Awards and have a great career. So there was an opening. And they were going to tape another comedy concert. So I'm thinking, here's my second chance. It's a great opportunity. I respect these women. And there's a conference call. So in my enthusiasm, and I want to be punctual, I dial into this conference call that I think has not started yet, thinking that I'm going to be...
Ooh, this is so juicy.
Yes. I think I'm going to be on time with this call. And I think they're going to put me in queue, because usually if you do a conference call, they put you in queue, and they say, we'll wait until the host arrives. So I dial into this call, and what I hear is, and Monique is not on this call, I hear Samore, Adele Givens, and Laura Hayes talking about me.
Oh my God. I can't take it. What's gonna happen?
I hear discussions about my appearance. I hear discussions about my ability. Why is she going to be a part? What do we need her for? And this is my recollection of this call. And I was startled and hurt. But I have to say this. I was so shocked and hurt that I could not unmute my phone and go, hey, bitch, I hear you.
To hear what they were saying, or did you feel like you wanted to?
Hell yeah. So I stayed on all of the call with my phone on mute, but I thought, take notes.
Yeah.
Listen, because rarely would we hear someone talking about us and saying what they truly feel about us. So I'm like, oh, okay, right on, okay. And I'm thinking, I ain't did that, but and then after I listened to all this, and I want every woman to hear this, I was bruised, but I wasn't broken.
Yeah.
I wasn't broken. So I listened to the entire call. I waited for everybody to click off, and I called Walter Latham, and I said, I don't think this is going to be a great fit for me, but I hope that these women will go on and do great things. To this day, they did not know that I was on this call. They did not know. And it gets better. I have worked with Laura Hayes on Beauty Shop after this call. I worked with Adele Givens on Hilarious after this call. I just saw some more at the Neighborhood Awards in Atlanta after this call because I decided, instead of being angry and vengeful, I decided to take the truth of what they're saying and their right to have an opinion and make myself an even better person. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why are you saying it now? Because I'm right where I belong.
Boom. Give yourself a round of applause. Make sure my music's on. Y'all know I like my music, so I'll make sure it's on. And okay, we got the music on. Good. All right, now why did I show you that video? Now, first of all, I think the video is very inspiring. I think she's very courageous not to say nothing. How many of you know if you heard that, you probably go off on someone right there on the spot? Anybody in the room? Okay, you understand that was very courageous of her. But it's a very powerful learning moment for us to understand because she does something really key that I think is important if we're going to be effective leaders of the 21st century. And it's this. You got to ask yourself the question, are you emotionally intelligent? Someone say emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is basically where you have the ability not only to manage your own emotions, but to effectively respond to the emotions of others. In essence, when someone gets on your last nerves and you're ready to give them a piece of your mind, you're able to stay calm, cool, and collective. When someone's going through a loss, when someone's going through a death, when someone's going through a relationship loss, you're able to be empathetic. Someone say empathetic. You're able to be compassionate. You're able to show them that you care about them, that you care about their well-being. Number 3, when you have high emotional intelligence, when someone is feeling down, you're able to recognize it and you're able to do the right things in order to make their day better and it'll make them happy. Someone say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the 4th part of emotional intelligence that's so important is when you have emotional intelligence, you're able to deal with conflict effectively. See, a lot of our conflict, a lot of our challenges are because of emotions. Someone say emotions. And so if you're going to be effective at dealing with conflict, you got to have emotional intelligence. Because emotional intelligence is not only going to help you deal with conflict, it's not only going to help you deal with challenges, it's not only going to help you empower people, but most importantly, it's going to position you to be a great leader. Someone say a great leader. Great leader. See, a person that has emotional intelligence is a great leader because they're effective at building relationships. They're effective at dealing with conflict. They're effective at staying calm under pressure. A lot of people in life make huge mistakes because they don't know how to stay calm under pressure. They don't know how to keep their mouth shut. Sometimes when someone offends you, you still got to keep your mouth shut. You got to be strategic with your conversations. You got to be strategic how you approach people. And this is all a part of emotional intelligence. Someone say emotional intelligence. And it's one of the reasons why Daniel Goleman says, and I quote, watch what he says. He says, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not able to manage your distress and emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how what? Smart. No matter how smart you are not going to go very far. That's a wake-up call. Wait a minute, Daniel. We got to have a conversation real quick. We got to have a one-on-one conversation. You're telling me that no matter how smart I am, no matter how great my intellect is, no matter how great my GPA is, if I don't have high emotional intelligence, I'm not going to go very far? Yep. Because leadership is not just about how smart you are. Leadership is not just about your competence, although those are very important. Leadership is about people. Leadership is about relationships. Leadership is about responding to people's problems and understanding how to deal with their emotions. Leadership is about helping people get out of bad situations. Leadership is about helping people show that you care. This is all a part of emotional intelligence. Someone say emotional intelligence. And I got a story I'll never forget. This is me. I had a bad relationship. Anybody had bad relationships before? Anybody know what a bad relationship feels like? Has anybody ever been in a relationship and literally the relationship's so bad that when you see the person, they get on your last nerves? Anybody's ever been there before? Don't lie to me. I know there's some people in here. Has anybody been so irritated with someone that when you're even in their presence, you just get bothered just seeing them? Anybody been there before? Okay. Well, this was me. I was in a relationship and I was extremely upset with this person. I mean, so upset with this person that when I saw them, I cringed. When I saw them, I got irritated on the inside. I was so irritated with this person that just being with them bothered me. Now, the problem was I couldn't take them out of my life because we had a daughter together. So for the rest of my life, I got to deal with this person. And so it hurt me that I had to see this face every single week. And what made it worse is this person liked to see me irritated. So you know what they did? They did things to make me more irritated. Anyone ever had someone that does seem to make you irritated on purpose? Yeah, I don't like them neither. They need to go somewhere else. I'm being really political right now in my statement. But I was really bothered. And I was frustrated because not only am I irritated to see you, but now you're messing with my emotions to make me that much more mad? For real? And you think it's cool? Really? I was upset. So I get on the phone with my friend. I said, hey, yo, this woman is driving me crazy. And I was like, yo, what makes it worse is she's actually doing it on purpose. And then my friend said, well, Josh, have you ever read a book called Emotional Intelligence? I said, what is that? He said, well, there's this new thing out that talks about how to manage your emotions and respond to the emotions of others. I said, really, I probably need to buy the book because this woman is getting on my last nerves emotionally. And so I began to read the book and I began to study and understand that emotional intelligence, first of all, deals with being aware of yourself and aware of your emotions. So I had to first of all come to a place where I became aware of my emotions. Then I began to understand that emotional intelligence is also an ability to manage your emotions. Sometimes you got to tell your emotions to shut up. Sometimes you got to tell fear, shut up. Sometimes you got to tell depression, shut up. Sometimes you got to tell impatience, shut up. Sometimes you got to tell your mouth, shut up. That's why you have 2 ears. And so I began to correct and manage my emotions. And then I began to understand that emotional intelligence is about the way that you react to other people. So I had to make up in my mind that no matter what this person did to me, I was going to treat them good no matter what. I was not going to let them make me mad. I refused to do it. So now I'm responding to your negative emotion with love. And love always overcomes evil. Okay, we'll keep going. And then I have to build positive relationships because people who hide emotional intelligence, they're able to build relationships. So although you're evil and although you're trying to make me mad, I'm going to do my best to build a great relationship with you because I understand that for the benefit of my daughter, we got to have a good relationship. So I took emotional intelligence 101 and I began to go over to this woman's house to pick up my daughter and she would do her little stuff and I said, I'm not getting mad. I love you. Hi, you're so awesome. I forgive you. I'm not even mad. I refuse to let her evil affect me. I became the emotional, strong person. And for 2 months, I had to deal with her crap with a smile on my face. But by the 3rd month, she began to realize she didn't affect me no more. And so her attitude began to change. Her emotions began to change. The way in which she came at me began to change. And the next thing I know, we actually started to get along. We actually have a good relationship to this day. And the reason we have a good relationship and the reason we're able to get along, and I'm actually here able to help her. And the reason why is because I made up in my mind that I was going to grow in emotional intelligence and I wasn't going to let her low emotional intelligence affect me. And now we have a peaceful relationship. And what I learned in that story is I learned, number one, sometimes people react to you in a negative way, not because you're the bad person, but because they have issues on the inside. And instead of reacting to their issues on the inside, maybe what they're doing is crying out for you to help. I remember Susan Taylor once said, she said, hurt people. So the more hurt a person is, the more likely they're going to lash out in a negative way, which is why we got to have emotional intelligence, because the solution to them lashing out in a negative way is not entertaining the negativity, but loving them and getting behind the negativity to get to the root of the problem. So once you transform their heart, once you help them get over that pain, oh, they're going to change to be a whole nother kind of person. Someone say emotional intelligence. And so that's the challenge for you today. Really simple. What you have to ask yourself, if I'm going to serve people, if I'm going to empower people, if I'm going to make a difference in the world as a leader, I got to have high emotional. Someone say high. Emotional intelligence. That means for some of you, I got to manage my emotions. I got to make sure I don't go off so quickly. I got to make sure sometimes I keep my mouth shut, and trust me, it's tough. Because there are some people out there that will say some stuff that get on your last nerves. But again, understand, sometimes it's not in your favor to respond to that person, because by you responding to that person can actually put you in a worse predicament than the person who came at you first. Anybody watch football in here? Anybody watch football? You guys know how it is in football, that one person will do that will spit in someone's face, and then someone else will react back, and they never get the person that started. They always get the person that reacted back. And the same happens true when we're leading other people, when we're serving other people. Sometimes the person that starts it, no one talks to them, but the person that reacted the wrong way, they end up being the bad person because they didn't know how to manage their emotions. Someone say emotions. Someone say emotions. Someone say emotions. Give someone a high five, say number 3. Y'all kind of weak right there. Give someone, say number 3. Third question you got to ask yourself. Third question is, are you adaptable? Someone say adaptable. If we're going to be effective leaders of the 21st century, then we got to be adaptable. Someone say adaptable. What is an adaptable leader? An adaptable leader is someone that has the ability to make a change, to adjust, or to change their style of leadership in order to get the best out of other people. So when we deal with adaptability says this: I'm from New York City, but I'm moving to LA to lead a certain type of people. Now these people in LA are different from the people in New York. So if I'm going to be effective at making them the best that they can become, then I got to make some adjustments. Someone say adjustments. I got to change some things. I got to be flexible, because remember, leadership is not about just feeling good. Leadership is being willing to make the adjustments necessary to make others better. This is what great leaders do. Great leaders make adjustments. Great leaders make changes. Great leaders change their style of leadership in order to be more conducive and more effective at reaching a certain group of people. And in the 21st century, it's required. Why is it required? It's required because, number one, 85% of the new workforce is either women, minorities, or immigrants. Say women, minorities, or immigrants. 85% of the new workforce. In addition to that, you have different personalities. In addition to that, you have different cultures. In addition to that, you have different political beliefs. In addition to that, our world is changing so much that if you're not able to adapt, you can become ineffective and irrelevant. Someone say ineffective, and irrelevant. In essence, if I don't know how to adapt, if I don't know how to make adjustments, if I don't know how to change, if I don't know how to deal with different personalities, then I can become irrelevant, but most importantly, I may become ineffective at reaching a certain people that I'm serving as a leader because of my lack of adaptability. And it's one of the reasons why they had this study in the Huffington Post, and this is what the study said. They found out with 1,400 women. Where are the women at? Raise your hand. Are the women in the house? Oh, there we go. They found out with 1,400 women, they found out that the most important skill set in the workplace in the 21st century is adaptability. Someone say adaptability. Who in here wants to be successful in work? Raise your hand. Who in here wants to be successful once you graduate? Raise your hand. Now give yourself a round of applause for your participation. It's so awesome. So what they discovered is that the more adaptable you are, the more successful you'll be in the workplace. So if I'm going to be an effective leader of the 21st century, if I'm going to obtain career success, then I got to be adaptable. Someone say adaptable. How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. What's your name? Josh, nice to meet you. You got to be adaptable. Someone say adaptable. You got to be adaptable. You got to be able to adjust. You got to be able to change. You got to be able to change your leadership styles in order to serve, in order to empower and bring the best out of people. Some of the leaders in here today that are part of organizations, and you're dealing with apathetic people, and you're dealing with lazy people, and you're dealing with people that don't really do what they say they're going to do. One of the reasons that's probably happening in your organization is because you have not made the proper adjustment in order to bring the most out of them. Someone say adjustment. You have not made the adjustment in order to bring the most out of them. And sometimes the adjustment is you got to let them go. Sometimes you got to let them go because they're in the wrong place in the wrong position. And when you're in the wrong place in the wrong position, it's all bad for everyone. But maybe you got to make an adjustment. Maybe you got to adapt. Maybe you got to change the way in which you deal with it. Maybe you got to change your communication. Maybe you got to change something. And when you make that adjustment, you'll bring the most out of them. I'm going to give you an example. How many of you in here on Facebook? Raise your hand. How many of you are on Twitter? Raise your hand. How many of you are on YouTube? Raise your hand. How many of you are on Periscope? Raise your hand. How many of you are on Snapchat? Raise your hand. That's the popular one. Okay, that's what I figured. So we understand social media, and a lot of you are part of social media, and a lot of you connect with people through social media, and a lot of you have Facebook, a lot of you have Twitter, a lot of you have Instagram, a lot of you have Snapchat, and you're very involved in social media. Now, if we were to change this room, and we were to bring people in here, say that we're 50, we're 60, maybe even 45 years of age, and we were to ask them how much involved are you with social media, they would probably not raise their hand like you. They would probably have no idea what Snapchat is. There's a good chance that they would be on Facebook, but they're not on Facebook. There's a good chance that they wouldn't be all into pictures and selfies and Instagrams. And there's definitely a good chance that they would sit here and tell you that I don't need social media in order to have a successful business. They would also sit here and tell you that in order for me to be effective in the 21st century, I don't need to be on social media, although studies show that it makes an impact for your business, although people are gaining customers, although businesses are exploding because of their social media presence, they may still tell you it doesn't matter. And the reason they're going to tell you it doesn't matter is because their entire life, they never had to use social media. But someone say times change. The time change where social media is more needed than ever before. You can't be an effective leader if you don't understand social media. You can't be an effective organization if you don't understand social media. You can't really have the impact that you could have back in the 20th century that you can have now with social media, which is why you got to be able to adapt. Someone say adapt. You got to be able to adapt. You got to be flexible, because in order to be effective in the 21st century, you got to incorporate social media. Someone say social media. Social media. Now watch this. If you don't adapt, if you don't include social media, if you think that is some seasonal phenomenon, then you end up like this company, Blockbusters. Has anybody seen Blockbusters in the wild? No. You know why? Because they were unwilling to adapt. And so Netflix came on the scene and said, we see a culture, we see a society that is changing. And because you're unwilling to adapt, we're going to adapt, and we're not only going to take all your customers, we're going to take all your money. You're going to become irrelevant, and you're going to become ineffective because you are unwilling to adapt. It's a powerful example of why it's so important in the 21st century in serving people and leading other people, that you're willing to adapt, you're willing to change, you're willing to adjust, you're willing to do the things necessary in order to bring the best out of other people. Because if you're unwilling to adapt, if you're unwilling to adjust, if you're unwilling to change, what happens is you become irrelevant and you become ineffective. Someone say irrelevant. Ineffective. Say irrelevant. Ineffective. Give someone a high five and say number 4. Give someone another five, say number 4. Now give yourselves a big round of applause for being awesome. I got 15 minutes and I got 2 principles that I got to get through. And I'm telling you right now, I think these are my best ones of everything I've showed you already. So we're going to get ready to go. Are y'all ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Next, you got to ask yourself is, are you leading with love? Someone say love. Listen, at the end of the day, if you're going to be an effective leader, if you're going to be a servant leader, if you're going to empower people for success, if you're going to make the difference in the world, you got to lead with love. Someone say love. Now, we deal with this concept of love because when we think of love, a lot of people think that love is a feeling. Love is a feeling. I'm in love with you. Woo-hoo. Let's dance. Let's party. I'm in love. Love. That's what people think when they think of love. But let me suggest to you that love is not really a feeling. Love is actually a choice and an action. Love is actually when you make the decision that I'm going to love you no matter how I feel and no matter how you treat me. So when we deal with love, love is not based on feeling. Love is based on choice. Say choice. I choose to act in love despite how I feel or despite how you treat me. Now, the reason why this is so important is because the power of love is in the choice. The most powerful demonstration of love is when you choose to love, but you don't feel like loving. You say, how can you say that? Well, I would suggest that love is forgiveness. When you forgive someone, the power of love is expressed. I suggest that people that love people are patient. When you're patient, love is expressed. I suggest to you that when people make sacrifices for others when they don't feel like it, love is expressed. So I suggest to you today that the true power of love is not when you feel like it. It's when you make up in your mind, I'm going to love you no matter what. I'm going to love you no matter how I feel. This is why Nelson Mandela was so powerful. Because Nelson Mandela was in prison for 20 plus years. He gets out and he decides to forgive the very people that put him in prison. This is why Mother Teresa was so powerful, because she didn't feel like making sacrifices. She probably didn't feel like going out of her way, but she did because of her love for the people. This is why your parents are so powerful, because we all know that we all have done some stuff to our parents that got on their last nerves. If you agree, say, oh yeah. We know that. But your parents still love you. Your parents still care about you. Your parents still want the best for you. And the reason you love your parents is because your parents loved you. Someone say, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we discover is this. We discover that love brings forth impact. That love is a core of effective leadership. That when I love, when I don't feel like loving, when someone gets on my last nerves, I'm actually positioning myself to see love demonstrated at its highest form. It's one of the reasons why Gandhi said nothing is impossible with pure love. It's why Mother Teresa said, and I quote, spread love everywhere you go. Let no one come to you without leaving. And that's why Cornel West says, and I quote, he says, you can't lead the people unless you first love the people. Because people are going to get on your last nerves. People are going to hate on you. People are going to talk about you. People are going to try to bring you down. People aren't going to want the best for you. People are going to be in your group, in your organization, and not going to like you and going to give you an attitude. But guess what? Someone say love. Because love always overcomes evil. Love always overcomes fear. Love always overcomes hate. But the problem with our generation, the problem with certain people is we don't understand the power of love. And even if we understood the power of love, we don't understand how to activate the power of love in our lives. And so therefore, we don't see love demonstrated the way it is when we understand that love is not based on how I feel. Love is when I make the decision and the choice in my mind. I'm doing good. I'm treating you good. I'm doing the right thing no matter what because I love. That's what love is about. And so if you're going to be a servant leader and you're going to be an effective leader and you're going to make an impact in the world, you're going to deal with some people that ain't going to like you. As a matter of fact, the more successful you become, the more haters are going to come out. It's why Biggie Smalls said, I quote, more money, more problems. So the more money you make, the more successful you become, the haters is coming. And I suggest to you, when the haters come, don't even get mad at them. Actually, you should kiss them on the cheek. Let me tell you why. Because your haters are actually precursors to your promotion. Your haters are actually precursors to your next level and your next impact. But the problem is we allow the haters' evil to get in us and we mess our whole flow up instead of just loving them and seeing the power of love demonstrated. I'm telling you today, man, start loving people. Start expressing love. Start showing love. And you're going to empower people just because of the power of love. It's something about love that's just incredible. And I'm not talking about this Hollywood love. I'm not talking about this superficial love. I'm not talking about this dating love. You fall in love in one day. I don't believe that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this true love, this agape. Someone say agape. I love you unconditionally. As crazy as you are, I still love you. As much as you get on my nerves, I still love you. Because I'm going to love the evil and the hate out of you. Give an example. This is a woman. Her name is Pastor Marilyn Skinner. She's a pastor. She was born in Canada. She had a vision to go to Rwanda, Africa. Rwanda, Africa was considered the second most dangerous place in the world. People were killing each other. I like to make the correlation, Beverly Hills and South Central LA. But she goes to Rwanda, Africa, and her and her husband are making an impact. And about 3 months in, what ends up happening is someone breaks into their house. And they tie her up with barbed wire. They pull up a gun, and they say, woman, give us your money. She says, I don't have no money. Say, woman, look here, I'm not playing with you. If you don't give us your money, we're going to blow your husband's head off. I don't have no money. And looks her in the eyes again and says, listen here. If you don't give us your money, we're going to blow his head off. And with tears coming down her eyes, with fear pumping in her heart, she gets up and she says, I don't have any money. The guys put up the gun, they pull the trigger, and nothing comes out of the bullet. They're freaking out so much, they run out the apartment and they leave. Her and her husband get out the barbed wire, and now they have a decision. Someone said decision. It's a powerful decision to make because someone just tried to kill you. You have enemies. It's not safe. You should go back to Canada where it's peaceful and it's calm. Send some money, send some prayers, and send some other people to be the ones out there trying to put themselves in line's danger. But you just chill. That's what she could have did. But she decided not to do that. And the reason she decided not to do that is because she said she had a love for her purpose. Someone say a love for her purpose. You got to love your purpose. You got to love your passion. You got to love your vision. You got to love your cause. She had a love for her purpose, and she had a love for the people. Someone say the people. She had a love for the people. She had a love for her purpose. And because of her love for the people and because of her love for the purpose, she decided to stay. In essence, love overcame fear. Love overcame challenge. Love overcame hate. Love overcame every other obstacle that tried to stop her from doing what she was supposed to do. I would like to proclaim to all of you today that 15 years later, this woman today now has 20,000 members coming to her church every single weekend. This woman today has an orphanage of 2,500 young children that lost their parents in war. And it's all because she had more faith in love than she did in evil. And when you serve people and when you love people and when you do the things that you're going to do as a leader, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to throw in the towel. You're going to want to give up. But someone say love. Someone say love. Because if you have enough love in your heart, if you have enough love in your cause, enough love in your vision, enough love for the people you serve, I suggest to you today that the power of love will overcome every situation in your life. And so today the leadership challenge on this one is very simple. What can you do to lead with more love? Someone say, what can I do to lead with more love? When you go serve today, challenge yourself to love more. When you start the school year, challenge yourself to love more. When you do everything you do, make sure you love more. Give someone a high five, say number 5. I got 5 minutes and I'm on my way out. Am I okay? So, 5 minutes on my way out. The last thing I want to do, this is my favorite of them all, is, that would have been crazy. Do you express faith in others? Someone say faith in others. Now, when we deal with this word faith, there's a lot of things you got to probably think in, but this is faith. Someone say faith. Faith is when you express to others that I believe in you through your speech, through your thoughts, and through your action. If you're going to be an effective leader, and you're going to empower people, and you're going to serve people, you got to let people know that you believe in them. And it can't be just something you say. It's got to be something you think, something you express, and something you show to other people. Are you still here? This is what it means to express faith in other people. And the reason why this is important is because we all need encouragement. We all need appreciation. We all need to know that someone believes in us. But most importantly, your voice, your words, your action of telling someone that you believe in them could be the very thing that enables them to reach their fullest potential. Your ability to tell someone you're awesome. Well, I don't think I'm awesome. No, you are awesome. Your ability to tell someone there's greatness in you. No, I don't think there's greatness in me. No, there's greatness in you. Your word is the very thing that can enable someone to reach the world. Your word is the very thing that can enable someone to be the leader they were destined to be. Your word of faith could be the very thing that enables someone not to give up on the dream that they have desired to become. This is what service and this is what empowerment is about. It's about believing in others through the expression of our faith. It's about telling people, I believe in you. It's about thinking, I see greatness in them. It's about expressing it through your actions, through your love, through your generosity, through your assistance, and through your help. Someone say express faith. Which is why I love this quote. It says, your thoughts will become your words will become your words will become your actions will become your habits will become your character will become your character will become your destiny. I want to identify 2 things in this whole statement. Notice, it starts at your thoughts, it moves to your words, it moves to your actions, but it affects your destiny. The people you serve, the people you empower, their destiny can be affected by the way you talk to them, by the way you think about them, or by the way that you express your belief in them. It can be that powerful. And I'm going to close with this story, and I'm on my way out. I got like 5 minutes, I think, but I'm going to close this story, and this is one of my most powerful stories of this year. I can't start crying because it can hit me at this moment. But this is a picture of my friends in Miami. The girl in the middle was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. She was diagnosed with cancer, and we heard about it, and so we decided that we were going to believe that she was going to be healed. So we joined together the church. We began to pray for her. We begin to speak positive. We begin to think positive. We begin to act like she's going to be here for a very long time. And as we begin to express our faith and show her that we believe in her, even when she was down, we were just showing we believe in you. We believe you can live. We believe you can overcome cancer. No matter what the doctor says, you can do it. Unfortunately, 3 months later, it got worse. It got to stage 4 cancer. And if anyone understands cancer, you understand that stage 4 is getting real, real bad. But instead of losing our faith, we still believed. We still spoke life. We still thought positive. We still expressed our belief that she was going to be healed, that she was going to live. Even when she may have not believed herself, we still believed in her. And then about a month and a half ago, I got the news. She went to the doctors and they said she's been healed of stage 4 cancer. Yes, good news. And when she was healed, tears came down my eyes. I was ecstatic because I had to believe in something I wasn't even sure was going to happen. Which means, although fear and doubt tried to creep in, I still spoke it. Although fear and doubt tried to creep in, I still believed it. Although fear and doubt tried to come in, I still expressed my faith in her. And because of our ability to serve her through our faith, to empower her through our positive words, to encourage her through our positive thoughts, to show her our love through our expression of action, today she has overcame cancer. Today, the doctor's reports or the statistics out there about people with cancer does not relate to her. Today, she's going to have a family. Today, she's going to grow up and be older. Today, her parents are going to be able to hug her during Thanksgiving. They're going to be able to hug her during the holidays. Today, her life has been transformed because she had some people in her life that express faith in her. And I'm here to tell you today, there are some people you're going to serve today. When you go out there, there are some people you're going to reach that are going to feel down. There are some people that are going to need that word of encouragement. And I am telling you, if you can be like us and you can show what it means to be a leader that believes in someone that doesn't believe in themselves, you'll be amazed at what can happen. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm on my way out of here and I'm getting ready to step down like literally this moment. Just to recap, I came in here and said you're a solution to a problem in the room. I said you're a solution to a problem in the world. Then I went on to tell you that if you're going to be an effective leader, you got to have the ability to lead, to empower, and to serve. Someone say serve. And I told you, if you can lead, if you can empower, you can serve, you'll make the world a better place, you'll make people's lives better, and I promise you, you'll be a more effective leader of the 21st century. And then I told you, in order to position yourself, number 1, you got to have a heart of service. Number 2, you got to have high emotional. Number 3, you got to be adaptable. Number 4, you got to lead with love. And number 5, you got to express your faith in others. And I believe with all my heart that if you can incorporate that, if you can express that, if you can apply this into your life, not only do I believe that you're going to have personal success, not only do I believe you're going to have career success, but I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm a living witness that you'll be an effective leader of the 21st century as well. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm sitting down like right now, but really quickly, if you don't know, on the board, I have my social media stuff. So if you'd like to connect with me, you can connect with me up there. All the information is there. In addition to that, we are doing our 6th annual Circle of Change Leadership Conference. I actually have some flyers here. So if you're interested in learning more about it, I'll have that information in my workshop session as well. But without further ado, and then there's a feedback form. If you could fill that out, I would greatly appreciate that as well. But without further ado, man, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And just give yourselves a round of applause for being awesome.